Analyst who happened to be a Hall of Famer, not a Hall of Fame analyst. But no, thank you. No, it was awesome. It's I'm still floating on cloud nine right now, and I wanted to make sure I was back for the beginning of spring ball and be around the guys and the team. But yeah, man, I don't even know what to tell you guys. Just like, it's unbelievable. I've cried 5 times a day, and that's just on top of the 48 hours that I've cried almost every 10 minutes in the last 2 days. So, man, I'm a Hall of Famer. That's awesome. So, what's up? Am I supposed to just talk? Are you going to ask questions or what? So.
When did you first know that you could be put on the gold jacket?
You know, I never thought about it. It was never something that I ever dreamed of, and it was never a goal of mine. I just loved playing football. I started playing when I was 8 years old, and my goal was to be an NFL player. That's all. For me, I tell people it was no plan B for me, and not because I didn't have a plan or didn't have other options. I didn't want to do anything else. I mean, I made up things. I had to do a speech one time as a freshman in high school, and I made up something like I wanted to be a psychologist. And the reality of it was I wanted to be a football player, but you do research on football and you always get the same answers. Well, you know, not very many people get to do that, and I wasn't taking that for an answer. I remember as an 8th grader, a 7th grader, I had to fill out paperwork, and you had to, because I went to school with a lot of military kids, and you had to fill out a form for the federal government, for the school and whatnot, and they had a category on there for professional athletes. It was in the same category as attorneys and professional teachers and stuff like that, and my 7th grade teacher scoffed at the idea that an athlete would be considered a professional. And I still remember it stung a little bit because that's all I ever wanted to do, but it wasn't until about year 12, 13, or 14 in my career that people started saying that you might have an opportunity to be in the Hall of Fame. And I just did some research, found out what centers were in the Hall of Fame at that time, and found out there were like 5 modern day guys. And then I did some more research to see how long they played, their average careers, the average time between their end of their career and their induction, and just kind of what it took. And then I knew there was 3 guys that were out there still that hadn't been in. The one in particular, and Damani Dawson, never got in. I had no shot. And so yeah, so I was pretty aware by the end of my career that I had an opportunity, or I might.
Who called you and who told you that
Yeah, you don't want the call. So the way it works is you have things to go to on a Thursday and Friday night leading up to the Super Bowl, and on Saturday morning you're free most of the morning, and then they want you in your room by 2 o'clock in the afternoon, because they start the voting and deliberation at 7 a.m. And the goal was to be done with the vote by 3 o'clock, and then you would know by 4. And the way it works is with Mr. Baker, since he's been the director of the Hall of Fame, is he will personally knock on your door if you were voted to the Hall of Fame. If you didn't get it, you get a phone call, and you don't want a phone call. So you avoid ordering room service because you don't want them knocking on your door. You tell everybody not to call you. And so today, that day, I had a friend of mine texted me and asked if I was in the room, because he knew I'd been through this 2 years in a row. And then I got in the shower, got out, and my phone rang, and my heart sunk, because I came out of the shower and I told my wife I'm not going to get in. I just didn't have this feeling I was going to get in. And it turned out to be the same friend. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? So I said, did you get a call yet? I was like, no, yeah, you're not supposed to call. So you don't want the call. And so he's like, oh, my bad, whatever. And then that was about 2 o'clock. And then I didn't find out till 4:20. And there was a moment in there after playing the stupid game on my app on my phone for 2 hours, and seeing all these text messages come up, that I just put my phone down and just put my head between my legs. And then as soon as I did that, it's a big, and it's not like it's like a boom, boom, boom. And when that happened, I jumped up out of my chair. I looked at my wife, and I started crying. And she started crying, and we did it, And I'm sitting there looking at her, I'm bawling, and she's like, "Go answer the door." And so I opened the door, and I'm some of you guys seen the video. It's all over the internet now. But yeah, it was just buckets coming out, and I couldn't contain it. And yeah, so that's how I found out.
About the hearing issue and sharing experiences with her, in your current capacity.
Yeah.
But given your history, what's that like?
This, me being here with Herm is special. I was trying to get in the coaching ranks prior to him getting the job here. It just turned out that my daughter had an opportunity to swim here for Coach Bowman and his staff, and so we moved here prior to her senior year when Coach Graham was still the head coach here, and I was waiting for the cycle to start, meaning the cycle of hiring and firing, and was trying to pursue an NFL coaching job. And I met with Herm. I found, he was the consultant to finding the next coach. And when I heard that, I sent him a text. And Herm doesn't send a lot of text messages back, so they're all emojis. So he sent me a thumbs up emoji. I'm like, what does that mean? And then 2 weeks later, he gets hired as a head coach and said, Coach, I want to be on your staff. I'm in town. I was with the Bears last season. And he gives me another thumbs up. And I was like, okay, does that mean I'm getting a job, or does that mean, so, but I went through the interview process. I was interviewed by at the time was John Simon and more importantly, Rob Likens. And after the interview, I felt it went well, and they chose to hire Coach Christensen for the offensive line job. That's the one I wanted, but they offered me the quality control job, or the analyst, or whatever the title is. And it worked out. The hard part about the role I can't coach. And it's well discussed that I'm out here and I can't coach because of NCAA rules. So as an analyst in the NFL, you can be on the field and you can help coach a position, be an assistant coach or coach's assistant, which is two different titles. And so we were going to pursue that, and Herm's like, you go pursue that, we'll help you get a job. And I said, well, if it doesn't work out, I'd love, if you can hold it. And he says, it's your job until you say no. And because it was relationships, and that's what this business is all about. It's about your relationships. And a coach doesn't just hire somebody just because he played in the NFL for as long as I did. You hire somebody because you have a relationship with them and you trust them. And so I went through it and thought the process through. It didn't make sense. My daughter's going to be on campus. We love Scottsdale. We lived there in Scottsdale, and we didn't want to go anywhere. And so I came back and asked if I could still have the job, and then I signed on and started like in March, and haven't looked back since and haven't regretted it.
Heard about getting into the Hall of Fame, whether it's hard work that you put in, or what is it exactly that just makes it so?
See, I knew I was going to get choked. Do you know how many people played the game of football? That's the thing. It gets me. And Mr. Baker shared it yesterday in what they call it, the Measurement Monday meetings that we had. Over 500 people have played this game from every level, from Little League all the way up to the very top level. Over 5 million. And there's only 320, this class will make it 326 Hall of Famers. And there's only 188 Gold Jackets that are living, including this class. And I'm one of the best. I'm one of the best that ever stepped foot on the green grass. And I don't take that lightly. I don't take it lightly at all. It means I did something that 5 million other people wish they could do. And I did it to the highest level. And not just me, Champ Bailey, Tony Gonzalez, Gil Brandt, Ed Reed, we all did it. Ty Law, and all the guys that came before us. But we come on the backs of those 320-something guys that are in the Hall of Fame. We come on their backs, and we get to set a stronger foundation for the guys that come after us. And it's not because we were just great football players, because we changed the game. In whatever aspect and respect, we changed the game. The way I played the center position, the way those guys played tight end and DBs, and for somebody that loves the game of football, not just playing it, but just loves what it's all about, it doesn't get any better. It doesn't. I got to be at Curtis Martin's induction. I've known Kurt Warner. Everybody in Arizona is fond of Kurt, and they're the best. And I get to be with them. I mean, I get to go down the hallway and be in a room where ghosts live. And I don't know.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah.
How do you think what you've achieved works with players at this level that are aspiring to get to that?
You know, I think every kid thinks that he's good enough to play in the NFL, and that's what makes sports so fantastic, is that every kid has a dream. And sometimes that dream ends at high school, and for some kids it continues on into college. And it's not always a scholarship kid. Sometimes it's a walk-on, and sometimes it's a guy that said, you're too slow, you're not tall enough, you're not big enough, you're not fast enough, but somehow their dream is still alive, and they make it to college, whether it be by scholarship or walk-on. And for whatever reason, something happens. Maybe they get a growth spurt, or they develop in those 4 or 5 years of college, or for somebody like me, it was just another step in the process. It was another step I had to take to reach my dream and my reality. And so for me, in the role that I'm in now, I've been there. I've been through every level of this. I've been through the recruiting process. I've been through the being redshirted. I've been through talking about you're not good enough. I've seen other guys get starts over me early in my career. And I've been through it all. There's nothing in these kids. I flunked a class in college and had to overcome it. I broke up with girlfriends because they didn't understand the football space. So I've been there. I'm 48 years old. I've been married 26 years. I got 2 teenagers. 2 of them are in college. I understand the college life. I lived in a bubble where the average age is 26 for 16 years. And so mentally, your mind, sometimes my wife says to my detriment, I still think I'm 26, but I've been where they want to go, and I know how to get there. And so with that knowledge and that wisdom that comes with experience, I have the ability to mentor these guys. My passion is to see young men like this to grow up to be mature young men that love their wives and treat their children right and become productive members of the community. And that you have more of an impact at this level than you do at the NFL level, as in those terms of growing men into men. And I really believe that I'm here for more than just coaching football. I believe I'm here to take a guy like Cole Brawl and kind of mentor him into the process of becoming an NFL player, but teaching him what it's like to be a man. And I know he's got a father and he's got a mother, and you know, he's tight with his family. And I'm just using him because I'm more closely to the offensive line guys. But to see a kid and say, dude, you got what it takes. Because that's all it takes for some guys. Somebody to tell a young player who thinks he's good enough but not quite sure, but say, you got it. You got what it takes. I'm proud of you. You know how many kids are playing this game today that they've never heard the word I'm proud of you before from a man figure in their life? And that's something to me that's important. The guys know that there's worth in what they do outside the game of football. And so, you know, I'm not going to be an analyst my whole life. I can promise you that. But the time that I am here and what limited actions I can do, I can affect lives. And that's why I'm here. That's why Herm has me here, because it's more than just football. It's about teaching men to be men. And so that's what's so cool about being here. I got you. Yeah, I got you.
Defensive line needing a lot of improvement. How gratifying was it for you first year here as an analyst to see that improvement of the group? You know, Benjamin obviously with the record year, sacks going way down from the year.
Yeah. You know, it's a testament to Dave Christensen. I mean, he is a veteran offensive line coach. He's been a head coach. He's seen it all, done everything, especially at this level. And it's a testament to him and what he was able to do. And I just add commentary, really, to be honest with you. I do my job as an analyst. I evaluate, I scout, you know, I do advanced scouting, things like that. But to work alongside Coach C and giving them, hey, you know, I've seen this, I've tried this before, I think this will work with our guys. It's our guys being willing to learn. And like we didn't have a real starter at guard last year. We had 3 or 4 guys rotating through. And I joke around, we won 7 games. Some of it was with smoke and mirrors. But our guys played their butts off, and they never let down. And now, you know, in any other country, you know, in LSU and Alabama, Ohio State, Michigan, 7-5 is not going to be good enough. And it's not going to be good enough here at ASU, and Herm will tell you that, and Coach C will tell you that. But we're headed in the right direction. There's a culture that Herm is building that's unlike anything that's been here in years, and that's not a knock on the last couple coaching staffs. But he's different. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm in college football, because Herm is different. And him and myself, and I've got teammates that know Herm, they all hope we win the big one, because we want to prove that you can be different and do it in a different way. And so to have a guy, Benjamin, to be the #3 rusher in the country, man, are you kidding me? And to rack up 300 yards rushing against Utah, and to put Michigan State, out of the running, those are big games, and that's something to build a program off of, and that's what we're doing, and that's what our guys are buying into, and that's what they believe in. Now we got a lot of work to do this off season and this next month, trying to find out who our quarterback is going to be, and we got new starters coming in, and every year in college football is a rebuilding year. You don't get to sign the same guy over and over again. I mean, you got 4 years, and some of these guys leave after 2 and 3 years, and so the challenge is of building a culture that guys want to stick around and not get out of here as quickly as possible. And then on top of that is bringing great guys in. We got a great signing class coming in. We signed 17 out of the 19 that we wanted in the early signing period. We got a special day coming up tomorrow, and those guys are going to add value, and we're going to win games with these guys. And we're not going to win just 2 games next year. I can promise you that. Well, he had a question, but I want to answer his question real quick.
No, I'm a little worried about you making it through the induction speech.
Oh, I'm going to cry like a baby. No, there's no doubt. You see did you see the knock on the door? Yeah, I'm going to cry like, so Mr. Baker asked me, he says, well, how, because I guess all the guys take bets on see who's going to cry first every year. And I was like, just don't even put the money down on me. I mean, it's a losing bet, because I'm gonna be the guy. I'll cry when I come up on the stage, and that's just the way I am. I walked in my locker, and I don't know if you guys saw the equipment manager's Twitter the other day, and Jada Kitten is one of our equipment managers, and Jared. I was joking around with those guys last week. I said, man, if I make it to Hall of Fame, I want to come in. I want all the gold stuff in my lockers. I'm gonna rock it on the football field, and on Sunday morning, Jerry Neely, our equipment guy, sent me, you need to go check out our Twitter feed and see what happened, and I did, and I cried when I saw that, and and I think it's a testament to me, but it's a testament to people we got working here. You treat people right, they'll treat you right, and I played with Jada's dad, John Kidna, and so that's even more special. And my daughter, she's across the way, she helped out with some of this stuff, and I walked in this morning and had balloons and a cake and blown up pictures and edits, and one of my favorite pictures with Herm Edwards is in my it's me hugging him after we won a game in New York, and that's what makes us special. So my wife is going to be the one that presents me at the Hall of Fame, and because she's the most special person in my life. She's the only one that's been through everything with me. Mom and Dad, 2 years, 4 years, 6 years, whatever, but I've been with my wife 26 years. And 29 if you count the 3 we dated, and we're engaged, and she knows every bump, every bruise, every broken bone, every surgery. She knows every complaint I had about every coach. She knows every teammate that I think she's forgotten more teammates than I've remembered. But when you share something like that for so long with somebody, you can't just say I want a coach I have for 3 years to be that person. It's going to be my wife, and nobody else deserves it more than her. So, but I'm gonna cry. So yeah, there's a man, Buswell, I think I can't remember his name. He's a former player from BYU back in the 70s and 80s, and he's the one that does him and his crew that are all trained under him. They do your bust, but I sat there yesterday, and they took, about 50 measurements from every angle of your face and your head, and they take pictures from every angle, and so they started with that, and then somewhere between now and June, I got to go to his place in Utah and sit with him for a day, and so he can finish it up, and then you won't see I don't think you see the final one until the day of, or maybe the day before, or something like that. So yeah, I don't know, it's pretty cool.
His name is Blair Buswell.
There you go. So Buswell, not bust. right? But that is pretty appropriate, right? But you know, so yesterday, Randy Moss was there and spoke to us, and kind of gives you, this is what the next 6 months looks like, because he just got inducted last year, and that one thing he said is, you know, Mr. Buswell can come to you, he goes, but it won't do you any service. You need to go spend time with him, and you sit in front of him, and you sit inches away from his face, and he just talks. And I don't know, I'm not an artist. I was an artist on the football field, but I have zero creative design in my head for that kind of stuff. But it's so he can sit there and capture your face and what you're really about, and all the intricacies and details of your personality. And so I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to go to Utah, I think Salt Lake City, and hang out with him for a few hours and just get to know him and his story. He actually played for Norm Chow, who was one of my offensive coordinators. And so that's pretty neat too. So we'll have something to talk about.